Hi, Marcus.
Hi, Sarah.
I've actually seen this film many, many times, and I love it. But there's something that I've always wanted to ask you, and you were talking about how, for example, trying to get away from the idea of success or these sorts of things. But also, maybe I have an opposite reaction than the doctor did about this line about life being a gift, and the way that towards the end, I understand how in a kind of dramaturgical sense, this idea of ending on a kind of up note about, how maybe we're ahead of our time and maybe we'll be reincarnated as something else, etc. I understand kind of in a dramaturgical sense about leaving on an up note, but also I feel like in a way this is also, after all of this kind of hard materialism, going back to some sort of transcendental, transitioning fantasy. And I was wondering, just kind of beyond the dramatical effect of just to end on an up note, if you ever thought of other strategies for or what your thoughts were about this conclusion for the film, or why exactly you did go that direction at the end.
ドラマ剣的にどういうふうに終えるかっていうことで、選択としては僕たちはもうすごく先を行ってたのかもしれないよねっていうことで、ある意味希望を持ったね明るい感じのトーンで終わっていたんですけれども、そういうもの以外で、どういう終わり方ができたかなという感じなのかな。ちょっと監督にとりあえず答えてもらいましょうね。
Yeah, I mean, of course you're right. It was a dramaturgical strategy to try to end it on a sort of up note with that last philosophical, more utopian fantasy of gender being sort of erased, or you could have both genders in the same body or something like that. But I also thought that it was sort of bittersweet, something with the ending, with them having this sort of fantasy together, because it's an impossible fantasy, and we know that it's impossible, but still they try to cheer each other up a little bit in a situation where it's in an impossible situation. And I thought that was moving in a way. So it wasn't really only for me to end it on like an up note, really, rather than a mixed feeling note. But also, I think, I mean, they do, in terms of addressing if I have any own ideas about how to really, in like the reality of things, find strategies to solve the limitations of gender identities. I don't really know if I have a good answer to that. I mean, Mikael and Orlando really represents two opposite positions here. I mean, for Mikael, it's really, he's very conservative. It's really important for him to be either man or woman. He can't, find himself anywhere in between, really. And Orlando maybe has a more radical approach to try to like invent something in that grayscale area in between. And I think actually he has succeeded. So I think that he is the winning one in terms of making up a strategy for life, to try to be sort of a chameleon in a way, a gender chameleon. He says that he doesn't, he talks about himself as a third sex, but I think he's even more radical when he says that he changes based on people's perceptions from day to day. Like if someone perceives him as being male, he will play that more like male side of him. And if someone perceives him as being a woman, he would, go with that. And that I think is maybe the most radical approach to have sort of an elusive gender identity that goes in between, rather than making a fixed decision. I don't know if that answers.
人生をね生きていく戦略というか哲学、ちょっとユートピアン的な思想かもしれないんですけれども、2つの性が今日一つの体にあることができるならば、それは無理だとしても、ちょっとビタースイートな、終わりにしたかった、ちょっとファンタジーではあったとしても、この非常に性の中である程度制限がある中で2人が勇気づけるね、お互いになんとか勇気づけようっていうそういうものが出てきて、明るい感じに終わったっていうのは、それは僕としてはその2人のその様子に感動したっていうのがあったんですけれども、マイケルはどちらかというと保守的な感じで、どちらかの性にならなくては っていうねちょっと脅迫観念があったと思うんですけど、オルランドにすれば彼はグレーなエリアでいられるというか、彼はある意味人生の戦略に立ててそれをちゃんと、勝者だと思うんですね。彼はですね言うならばジェンダーカメレオンという感じで、第三の性という話が出ましたけれども、この人が男性であることを望むならば自分は男性っぽくなってもいいし、女性っぽいならそれに応えようという、ある意味非常に、ラディカルなですね彼なりの、生き場所を見つけたっていうことだと思うんですね。So we go, I think maybe time for one, if we try hard, maybe two questions.
今回出てきたお二人っていうのは2人とも MTF2M or 2X だったわけですけれども、これがもし、MTF2M とか 2X っていう人が入っていたら何か別のことが見えてきたっていうことはあり得ると思いますか？例えばフェミニズム的な意味でとか。
Say, if they were not MTF, they were MTF, but if you had FTM, it would have been different. Maybe some feministic approach, or it would have been different film. How would you have made it?
Oh, that is a really hard question. I mean, I don't know what this would have been different, but there are, of course, feministic ideas or theories around, male to female and female to male that has to do with power structures between the genders, and and of course I could imagine that it could be interesting to also hear from the other perspective and see what that gives. I mean, this is there is a part where Mikael talks about being on the other side, living the experience as a woman, and learning from that, being sort of treated worse than a man, and it would be interesting to see what the opposite experience, of course, would be. But I mean, I don't know.
家庭はね非常に難しいと思うんですよね、どうだったのかっていうのが。で確かにおっしゃってるようにフェミニズム的なものとか、いろいろセオリーとかもちろんこれが、元女性の方だったら違ってきたと思うんですね。で他の視点があったと思うんです。ただマイケルがですね女だった自分を振り返って、自分の学んだことというか経験で、女性の方が存在に扱われたみたいなくだりがありましたよね。あれがもし逆の立場だったらどうだったんだろうっていうのを聞きたいっていうのはありますね。
Thank you for the film. I really enjoy it. And I have a question because I was quite astonished about Orlando because he had a surgery in the 1960s, but in the film there was in 1980s there was a AIDS panic, but in the film there was nothing about the AIDS panic. Or can you describe if they have any reaction towards the AIDS panic also?
Actually, Orlando says, he actually has told me that I think this is a strategy personally for him to sort of make sense of that decision that he took or the situation he's in, that he thinks that, even though he's really disappointed with himself for making the first transition, he actually also thinks it saved his life, because that meant that he, could not be as promiscuous as he had been, when he was working as a maid prostitute in Stockholm before the transition. So he feels that that's like one of the good things that came out of it. But I actually choose to not include that in the film. But yeah.
実は、最終的には削ることになったんですけれども、オルランドがですね僕に言ってくれたのは今となれば、戦略的な選択かっていうか、今となれば意味をなすこと意味をね持つことなんですけれども、彼はその性転換性移行手術を受けたことは後悔はしているけれども、一つ彼の命を救ったかもしれないというふうに言ってるんですね。彼は若い時にストックホルムで男娼として体を男性に売っていた。それをもし続けていたら確かに、もう命はなかったかもしれないということで、それはそういったことで身を救われたというような話が出たんですけれども、ちょっとこれは実際映画には含めなかったんですね、この発言は。Okay, I think our time is up. Maybe a very final word from each of you.
I just want to say thank you everybody for coming to see the film. Thanks so much.
有馬先生は何か最後に。
すごい面白かったです。ありがとうございました。
Thank you for the film.